Get ready for a deranged ranking! Sorry, I'm never doing that again. Hey everybody! Game Changer has become one of my favorite shows ever, and with Season 7 having recently concluded, I thought it'd be fun to rank every episode. For those who don't know and clicked on this video anyway, Game Changer is a game show by Dropout and hosted by Sam, Where Do You Live, Reich. And the basic gist of it is that the game changes every episode. But more importantly, the contestants are comedians, instead of regular boring people like me and you. So it's pretty funny. Before we get into it, as a first disclaimer, I know from personal experience how hard it is to make even a bad piece of media. Because of that, I'll only talk very briefly about the episodes I don't like. And also because it's much more fun to talk about the stuff I love. And second disclaimer, Season 3 won't be included. I'm sure there are good episodes in there, but the idea of watching a series recorded over Zoom depresses me, and reminds me of the pandemic. Nothing against the season, it's just a me problem. Final disclaimer, multi-part episodes will be taken as only one, because I don't know how to rank them separately. With all of that out of the way, I have 48 episodes to rank, so let's get to it. Spoilers for all of them, of course. The Everything Factory is universally agreed to be the weakest one, so not too surprising I guess. The game on this one consists of quickly assembling a bunch of stuff with pieces that go through a conveyor belt, and they get more complex. The biggest issue with this episode is that it just doesn't allow for any banter or comedy to happen. Like, I know these three comedians are funny, but they don't get a single second to actually be funny. There's also the really bizarre idea of making it a team competition, so what was even the point? There's no competition at all. Don't watch this one, at a certain point it is just screaming. Moving on.
Listen, who among us?
For sleeper agents, Sam sends Lily, Katie, and Tail to find a bunch of sleeper agents, actors, among regular people on the street, and to activate them, they have to say a bunch of embarrassing lines. Yeah, this one makes me kind of uncomfortable. There's a couple of moments that are funny, but for the most part, I'm internally begging that they quickly find the actors and for the confirmation that they aren't pestering a passerby. From a game design standpoint, it isn't very interesting either. Whoever can say the lines the quickest to the actual actors wins. Okay, it just feels so random. Similarly to the Everything Factory, it's a concept that doesn't allow for any real competition and more importantly, for any banter, comedy or bits out of these three comedians, who, once again, I know are funny.
Holy is that real?
Even though it's always nice of Sam to give a bunch of free stuff to his friends, Game of Prizes is simply unexciting. The basic gist of it is that every round, each player gets asked whether the item they are being offered exists or not, and had to decide whether to wager points on it or not. It's not terrible, but the competition itself is just kind of boring, with each question basically being a 50-50 of whether the item exists or not. Unlike the previous two, I do actually get some enjoyment out of it, since it's filmed in a studio nature actually allows for banter and bits to happen, and there's some excitement when they go crazy and wager a bunch of their points, like Raph at the beginning literally wagering all 10 of them, but still, definitely one of the weakest ones.
Oh god, it's so good. So good and tasty.
As it stands, Nom 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 feels way too simple and linear. There's a big mouth and a bunch of foods, and each round a sound plays, which determines what food must be fed to the mouth that round, and that is it. The competition aspect of it doesn't really allow for much competition, as it just is each player going one try at a time for a very simple task, picking a food. And worst of all, the game gets less exciting and easier as it goes along, as there is less foods to pick from. Still, I like the mouth prop, and there's some funny moments here and there.
Nothing to do with the disappearing nuclear physicist and Colonel Mustard's work on the new fusion bomb.
No, communism was just a red herring.
Whodunit is another episode that suffers from being way too scripted and feeling too linear. Josh gets murdered at the beginning, and then it's up to Rekha and Grant to figure out which crew member did it, with Sam guiding them as to who and what they should question. There's some funny stuff in it, like Andy's off-putting performance as the script supervisor, Grant's eventual reveal as a villain, and the twist of Rekha being in Truman's Show, but for the most part, it's an episode that just feels way too rigid. For me, the best part of this show is the incredible improv and natural comedic flow of it, so an episode that relies so heavily on an already planned out questioning isn't very appealing. This one is sadly another one that suffers from being way too constricting in the game and competition aspect of it. Erica, Izzy and Becca are presented with a kitchen set, where they have to accomplish a bunch of tasks within a minute with only fake studio laughter as a guide. Because of how it works, the contestants really don't get to show any kind of ability, except for memorizing the tasks that they have to do, I guess, as it is just trial and error to figure out which way to go. But despite the game itself being kind of weak, Erika, Izzy and Becca are consistently funny, and a fitting cast for an episode like this, and the chaotic ending is pretty satisfying to watch. That's it. Those were all the ones I don't like, and a couple of them I find to be fine, actually. Like I said, I really love this show and most of its episodes. I wouldn't have made this video if it wasn't the case. So let's get on to the first good episode, with number 42.
Don't you dare cry. Don't you ever cry.
Don't Cry is one of the sweetest and most lovely episodes of TV I've ever seen. The slow reveal that the game was just a sham and an excuse to be nice to Jess after she had a rough year is so heartwarming. It's an episode filled with love and humanity. It really is adorable. And even though I only know Jess from her appearances on this show, I felt genuinely emotional by the end too. That being said, and I feel so incredibly mean for this, I don't watch Game Changer for these emotions. I watch it for psychological torture, competitive warfare, and most of all, the funnies. And in that sense, Don't Cry isn't particularly funny. And that's fine, it's not trying to be for the most part. This episode is great, but it's just not appealing to me in particular. So more than any other episode on this list, take its relatively low placement with a huge grain of salt. Reika never actually crying though is very funny.
I hate the internet, yet I'm addicted to the internet.
So true.
What on earth do these numbers refer to?
That is the amount of times we've had sex each month.
Honestly, goals. This episode is one of the more chill ones of the series. There's a competition aspect to it, certainly, but it isn't that intense. It may sound like I'm complaining, but I like that about this episode. It makes it stand out, even if I personally prefer it when it feels like they really want to win. I don't really have any problems with this one honestly, it just isn't one of the funniest ones, and I don't have much to say about it. I do love it when Elaine comes out to bully Sam, and she also has a pinstripe suit. That's adorable. I don't know, I think I'm way too single for this one.
Happy Christmas. It's Christmas. Merry Crisis. Merry Chrysler.
Yet another opportunity for Sam to make expensive gifts to his colleagues, but unlike Game of Prizes, there's an actual game and competition aspect to this one, and also some fuckery with the punishments. Nice! It is too linear for my taste, with each round being the same, but this episode makes up for it by having a great social deduction element to the game that keeps it tense and surprising. Besides that, the punishments themselves are really funny. Poor Raph.
Yeah, because I don't want to be a proud boy.
So yeah, funny episode, and I love that Sam gives each of them a month of rent. That is genuinely so nice.
Now would you unhook this already, please? I don't deserve this kind of shabby treatment.
Ah, the pilot. Lie detector. It's honestly incredible to see how far this show has come, not just in its concept and the game themselves, but from a technical standpoint and production value wise. Despite feeling bare bones, this is a really solid and good pilot episode. Brennan, Jess and Teo must answer truthfully to get points, and their partners are backstage to confirm what they're saying is true. That is all there's to it, but there's so many hilarious and iconic moments right from the beginning.
I'll just say I've had multiple threesomes.
You are not God, the machine is! I fully shit myself. There is no corner of my heart I would not turn over to the world for 5 points.
So yeah, a really solid beginning to this great show.
Am I being flirted with by a psychotic rat?
We now have our first two-parter. Oh, Ratfish. This episode is one that has incredible highs, balanced out by some unfortunate lows. Let's start with the highs. I love every single character that the cast comes up with for this game. Katie's cutthroat producer asshole Jack Stryker is a great parody of actual real people. Jess the landlord is goddamn inspired, such a funny concept to make a landlord who is also a wrestler. Reika's adjustable side table is so stupid, but I love it so much, and for some reason she plays it to be so compelling. Jackson Alberta PhD is such a specific character archetype, and I love how Grant effectively throws everyone off at first by playing such a minimalistic character.
So they're not revealing a ton.
I have no idea who's playing Jackson.
Also, the person they use for him looks like Jordan Peterson, and I cannot unsay it. Ali deciding to piss off Brennan as usual by playing Brennan Lee Mulligan, and it is honestly hilarious. Especially since after the initial presentation, they never play Brennan as if it was actually him.
That's not Brennan now.
So I'm thinking that that is not Brennan.
I love how Brennan so successfully passes off at first as Reika with Bug with a big ass, And it is honestly so perfect. I love this character so much. It is so stupidly funny. And finally, mine and everyone else's favorite, Grandma Sweetie. God, I love Zack. This character has such a perfect mix between wholesomeness and also shitposting. This character is a perfect shitpost, and I love her.
Grandma Sweetie says being at the ravine with the gold one. Like, Grandma Sweetie is so funny.
All of these fantastic comedians play their characters so incredibly well, and this two-parter is very entertaining and extremely successful as a comedy show, with many of its moments becoming so iconic and engraved in my head.
That tells me that Jackson, Alberta is being played by a gay man.
Some say love.
And I'm trying to isolate which one.
A river.
I like a lot of the minigames they have to be a part of, like the stand-up bit, the date, and the gift they have to paint for each other. With all of that being said, while Ratfish is an extremely fun and hilarious game changer episode, it's the game aspect that is kind of a letdown. I have two big issues with it. One of them is how the eliminations work. They could have factored in more prominently whether they got discovered or not, and not simply how many they got right. There's also the issue that too many players get voted out too early. I feel like they could have eased in slower into the eliminations, and even after they were eliminated, they should have found a bigger incentive for the contestants to keep trying their best to stay in character. The other one is how much power they give to the Ratfish, and how they handled it in general, which is a common complaint I've seen with this episode. Eric Warheim is a fine comedian, but having him be there to confuse the players and also have so much power when it comes to deciding who should be the winners felt awkward. For example, the tiebreaker being decided by him based on whose artwork he liked more felt out of nowhere, especially since Reika got everyone right first. She should have won based on that. Or also how he is the one who gets to pick the favorite character. I honestly think it would have been much more fun for the players themselves to do that via voting.
Did I answer this question?
Also, it's just weird how they didn't reveal him to the players at the end. The thought of them not knowing until the episode comes out is kind of funny, but also I would have much preferred to see their reactions. But again, even though the game design aspect of this one is kind of a letdown, especially for Season 6 standards, the comedy is just incredible, and even without much physical interaction with one another, this amazing cast really gets to shine.
Sharks, we're looking for a $50 million investment for 25% of our company as we present you with our new product, paper for after the toilet.
Fool's Gold is a little bit awkward as a competition, especially if you watched it right when it came out, which I did. Because if you did, there was no sense of how the game was actually going. Who's winning? Who's losing? I've got no idea. It is also a game that in many ways feels too much out of the contestants' control. I love Reika, Jordan, and Trap, but it does feel like you could replace them with other 3 cast members and the game wouldn't change that much. And that isn't a critique directed at them, but rather the game design itself, as I feel that it didn't allow them to show much of their unique skills or abilities. They're still very funny. This episode does have one of my favorite mic trap moments.
I'm out.
In general, I do feel like they played the roles of sharks and investors very well, and I'm still in shock that Jordan was able to correctly guess all 3 breast milks. Like, what kind of superpower is that, dude? But in many ways, the people who feel like the real stars of this episode are those that come in and pitch the videos, and that is where the episode really gets to shine for me. The videos themselves. Some of these are so funny and unhinged, and even the presentations themselves are very entertaining. As usual, Vehicular being the best and pitching the funniest and most viral video possible. And the best part about it, they weren't even on it, they just put Brennan to work and perform in it, which is like so goddamn funny. I love this. Good for Brennan though, I hope his American Girl Shoes business is doing well.
Oh, players, I'm getting a call. It's the early 2000s.
What do you mean they hit the second tower?
This is probably the chillest episode in the whole series. These 3 artists are given a series of drawing competitions, and for most of the episode that's all it is. No plot twists, no psychological torture, no fierce competition, it is quite straightforward. But I really love that about this episode. It feels different, and I really love all the creativity on display with the amazing art. I think it's lovely as well that they found creative canvases for all of these drawings. They could have just given them actual canvases to paint all of this, but they went with the specific materials for them to draw in relation to what they were doing, like the big Pokemon cards for the new Pokemon or the actual cereal boxes for the cereal mascots. Some of my favorite pieces are Catwell's post 9/11 anti-terrorist tramp stamp, Nathan Sam's Just a Little Guy, and Kiana's Charlie McJones. I also really love the ending with the 3 of them defacing the set, adding just a bit of chaos, something every episode of this series needs.
I also love I Kyled God.
This is a lovely episode, and I feel bad putting it this low, but that just goes to show you how good this series is. Similar to Don't Cry, Who Wants to Be Jacob Wysocki is so incredibly sweet and lovely. The fact that Sam made a whole episode just to give Jacob $100,000 is incredible, and Jacob's speech at the end of what it means to him is so beautiful. I got emotional when he said it would allow him to make creative content in-house, with the talented people he wants to make it, because that is a thing I feel many creative people aspire to do and would love to do if they had the resources. I also really love how they managed to find funny ways of keeping the relative simple game of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire interesting, with good comedic support from the other cast members and in particular with the lifelines. Sorry, ripcords. These are so cool, and my favorite one by far is Skip, because of the fact that it just ends up being a stupid pun.
Hold on a second. Great. For the viewers at home, we just skipped to a new music track.
That is so good, I love it. I only have one real issue with this episode, which is so stupid and such a nitpick, but it does bother me. Why wasn't there a question related to Jeremy? They made one about Kurt and one about Kimia, but not one about Jeremy. Again, such a stupid nitpick, but I wanted to see what question they could come up with about their friendship. Also, the LinkedIn sponsorship was kind of triggering. As an extremely unemployed person, this was borderline offensive, and I will be boycotting Dropout from now on.
A flower? A rose? Oh wow!
I deeply admire Grant for being able to stand in front of 10 people, all pinning for him, and keep it cool, and still be charming and funny. Because if you put 10 hot people in front of me, even if they're not putting attention to me, I would fucking crumble. I'll be honest, my social anxiety during the first 10 minutes of this was like off the charts, because again, I would actually die if I was there, and watching it was enough to make me nervous. But despite that, these contestants are so great in this episode, even those that quickly realize that them and Grant don't have that much chemistry. Alice, Jess, Nix, and Grant's mom's contributions are a ton of fun, and the different minigames keep it fresh, and gamify this reality show format in a way that adds a lot of levity and comedy into it. But the best part about this episode is the ending. The fact that Grant wasn't sure who to pick, and so Sam allowed him to pick both Reese and Annabelle, and instead giving them the decision to accept or not, it's such a great twist, and honestly touching. Also, the fact that Delaney got on there by shitposting is just perfect. The wonders of the internet.
My heart rate is so fast right now.
The Name That Bird minigame is genuinely one of the best moments of this show. The way Brennan goes from overconfident to worried in an instant when his first bird appears, how he slowly loses his temper, Katie almost getting chicken wrong not once, but twice, Caroline's
"Oh, I know this one,"
and just how Brennan completely loses it by the end of it is just mwah, a work of art. Peak game changer. The fact that the Rosate Spoonbill has continued to hunt Brennan to this day is just perfection. I love this sequence so goddamn much. While the Name That Bird minigame is the absolute peak of this episode, I still like the rest of it a lot. There's a ton of great moments, like the knife throwing challenge, the reveal of the game, and Brennan's calm, antagonistic attitude towards Sam.
You care to elaborate on why that's an additional point for me?
You smug motherfucker.
And the whole concept of it is just so much fun and so out there, such a creative idea for a game. Not every challenge is as interesting and entertaining to watch, and there is a certain point in the episode when it just becomes very obvious that Caroline is going to win, but still, really creative and hilarious episode.
What the fuck? A bus full of gnomes?
No scams! No scams!
Good to see Grant's humiliation kink keeps proving to be profitable for him. Race to the Bottom is the weaker of the two games that center around doing embarrassing things for money, but not by that much. My favorite part of this episode is how Ali very early on is trying to have the three of them keep it together and not go too low.
Fucking get it together.
While simultaneously having Lily and Grant completely fold over once the dog comes out, which honestly, understandable. I would have also let him kiss me for free. And once they actually get to agree on a floor, Sam does one of the funniest things in the entire show. Bring out a scav. Katie is so great in this role. I love how she instantly humiliates herself for a measly $20. My biggest issue with this episode, and it is a very me thing, is seeing these players reject too much money to do something that I really feel is simple. Like, dude, your eyebrows hair is going to grow back. I would have done that shit for like $70. That is 2 Ralsei plushes.
Olympic Games, gotta have me my Olympic Games.
Brennan's defeated look as Sam announces he won, pure Cinema. The best Game Changer players understand that it is not a competition between them, but against Sam.
I'm afraid that's no points for you.
Great effort. Don't let him break you.
And from the get-go, these three know that. Olympics to me is a great representation of this show. It has varied challenges, some more physical, some more intellectual, and some of them just bizarre. It has the out-of-the-box thinking by the players, such as with stuffing bacon in your junk. It has good comedy, banter, and beats. It has a great twist halfway through that psychologically fucks with the contestants. It has Brennan's beliefs being bullied by Sam, and to top it all, it has a Renaissance painting. It's kind of a perfect encapsulation of what this show is all about. It's not necessarily the funniest, which is why it's not higher, but I do find a lot about it so goddamn hilarious. Demis and Jordan's commentary, the cat competition, and the blur and magnifying of Katie's and Ify's feet is just perfect. Chef's kiss.
The Tub of Insects is 45 cents, I understand, but you'd have to pay me to eat this.
I did say the sequel was a little weaker by just a little bit. I think one strength this one has compared to its sequel is that since they aren't as prepared for what's coming, their emotional reaction to what happens are much over the top. What I love so much about this episode is how it instantly goes off the rails.
Off the rails.
What are we, Grant?
We're off the rails.
Grant's hatred once he gets asked if he can do better, Ali going down from $100 to only $5, Raph's measly $10 at eating a post-it note, beautiful. So amazing. Rewatching it now is also very funny seeing how little these players ask for, because it goes to show you that they did not expect this show's budget to be high. This just makes the reveal that there's actually $10,000 all the better, with the players being so angry at how little they had asked for so far. But of course, what really makes this episode is the ending. The fact that Sam was prepared for the eventuality that they would unionize and that is an instant game ender is so perfect. I really love it. Also, Alice...
I'll eat the crickets for $1.
...lives rent-free in my head. This one is so much fun that it made me want to watch the real Survivor show. I mean, I didn't, but the fact that it even made me consider watching a reality show is quite an accomplishment. This is another two-parter that is really fun and filled with iconic moments, but it does feel kind of bare bones and a little rushed, especially compared to the sequel version, Battle Royale. The main reason I feel this way is the fact that there is only one minigame that gives them an immunity or an advantage, and that is the try not to laugh challenges. Don't get me wrong, they are pretty entertaining to watch, there's so many great moments out of them.
What happened to the rest of your barbershop quartet?
Actually, he was just a pretty good Gatsby.
Please let me win.
But it does feel a little repetitive, especially when you consider how creative and varied they got with the challenges in the sequel. I don't want to sound too negative though. This one is one of the most intense competitions in the whole show, and one of the first times that I was really invested in who was going to win. I love seeing the strategies, or lack thereof.
Did Grant approach anybody else about voting for Raph?
No.
Each contestant develops, and as any good Game Changer episode does, this one has a great twist.
Is it my brilliant play to vote off Katie and let everyone think that it was the art department?
So cool. Such a good two-parter and perfect precedent of how incredible a Game Changer Survivor could be. But more on that later.
No, I need 2 men on this. That's what she said. No time. But she did. No time!
I don't know if I've said it before, but I often feel like I have the mind of a 15-year-old. So this is right up my alley. This is a very simple episode. Most of it is just sexual puns, but Trap, Grant, and Jess are pretty funny, and they all bring a particular sense of humor to the innuendo jokes, with Trap doing a lot of low and high self-esteem jokes.
Sex with me is like maple syrup on a hamburger. Nobody wants a taste.
Jess delivering hers as a cute old lady.
It's about 3 souls coming together to create one beautiful thing.
And Grant pulling the most specific references ever.
Search on the internet, you'll find a video of a lady shitting herself in the middle of it.
What?
The highlight of the episode is when Grant's favorite porn star comes out and he becomes extremely flustered and a total mess.
Why?
Dirty, Grant.
Yeah, I am. Oh God.
My only critique of this one is that the I like my lovers like I like my blank section could have gone on for longer. Just like my lovers.
I feel great. I ran 5K this morning.
Really?
No, I threw up in the shower.
What an absolute banger of an episode. During most of it, it's pretty fun. There's a group of drunk people, but one of them is a secret sober, and each round they have to vote her out. If the secret sober is caught, the drunks get the money. If the secret solver isn't caught, she gets the money. A straightforward but a really fun social deduction game, greatly boosted by an incredible cast and fun party challenges. So yeah, pretty good. Except none of them are drunk, all of them are the secret solver. That is such a good twist, I love it! During most of this episode I was having quite a bit of fun, but after the reveal I ascended, dude. Huge props to the editing team. This episode is constructed so well, and they had me completely fooled about the fact that Lily was the only sober person. I really have to praise the other cast members too, because they really sold their fake drunkenness. A highlight is definitely Giovanni. Great episode. Even though I'm so sad that Becca got eliminated first. I love them so much, and they were barely in this episode and season. So sad. An absolute game changer, pun not intended. Such an important episode for this series, and it is so beautiful to see how it evolved, because this first one is actually pretty simple. With the exception of a couple prompts, there's no major psychological fuckery with the contestants, and yet it is so fun to watch. But despite its relative simplicity, it has so many great and iconic moments, like the first "Don't flinch."
Sam says, "Don't flinch." Ah!
Izzy's buttholes visual effect.
Bunch of buttholes.
The lady said buttholes, Sam.
And the fake out ending trap.
Give yourselves a hand. That is points away from Izzy and Lou, bringing Izzy to 23 and Lou to 19.
My favorite aspect about this episode is how Lou goes from being so incredibly joyful to completely beaten down by the game. Especially if you extend it farther and look at him at the end of Sam Says 3. And the constant return of the air horn throughout the episode is just perfect.
Sam says, "Don't flinch." Sam says, "Oh my God." Oh God. I mean, quite literally a taste of my own medicine.
Mwah. Chef's kiss. Absolutely iconic episode.
Give me a number.
I don't understand.
You give me a number.
Name a number first round is quite a lot of fun. I think the prompts are great and the conceit of the game is clever, forcing the players to try to one-up each other in how much they can do, but also not go too far to the point they can't actually achieve it, and give points to the other two. Erika, Izzy and Becca are perfect contestants for this one, bringing the perfect amount of competition, levity and chaos to each of the prompts. But it is during the second round that this episode goes from pretty good to amazing. Such a great idea to blur out the prompts and have them beat a number blindly. It of course makes for hilarious reveals, such as the 18 "I'm hungry" Izzy has to say while ordering pizza, but it also elevates the prompts that are actually nice, such as the "How much money will you get?" and the compliments one. I really love that. Great episode with an incredibly fitting cast.
Also apologized in advance if the mustard comes out too fast. It's a sensitive bottle.
I'll keep it short for this one, since I feel similarly to the first one. I have the brain of a 15-year-old, so it's funny. I love the cast and their unique sense of humor, with Reika in particular being great on the pantomime.
Reika.
8 days a week.
Fast on the draw there, Reika.
And my only issue with it is that the "I like my lovers like I like my blank" section could have gone on for longer. Just like my lover. But the reason this one is higher is pretty obvious. I can't fucking believe they brought Grant's mom into this. This is the funniest and most devious thing Sam's ever pulled. So great. I love this so goddamn much. It's so incredibly entertaining to watch him continue to answer, but in an extremely uncomfortable manner. This is so goddamn hilarious. Big game changer. Go! Like the first Sam Says, but slightly better. I don't have much new to say about this one. While slightly less funny than the first one, I do prefer it over it because of how much the psychological fuckery was increased, with some highlights of this being the trick with Adam Conover's voice, the red light green light minigame, and of course, the wager.
It's 15 points away from Zach Oyama, 4 points away from Jake, and 0 points away from Allie Beards.
Poor Zach, he really suffered in this episode.
Shit. Fuck.
Oh my God! I'm an idiot!
But the major reason this episode is better than its predecessor is the ending. Holy shit.
Sam says go.
And they really did go. I love each of their interpretations to it. Zach instantly deciding to sprint down the street, Jacob's chill exit to his house, and Ali taking a flight to the other side of the country to New York. And of course, if you've seen it, the behind the scenes make this part even better. Great episode.
Now, Sam, where are you from?
Trap, Reika, and Grant are given stupid products, and they have to pitch them. Hilarity ensues. A fairly simple concept for a minigame, so much so that I played it for a competition when I was in high school. Except it was called Sell the Potato. But I really don't care, because this is such a consistently funny episode, and they really make the most out of this straightforward game, especially with how fun and ridiculous some of these fake products get. These 3 contestants are so wonderful and fast thinkers, and this episode legit has some of my favorite moments in the whole series.
Well, now what if you didn't have any of that?
Now, Sam, where are you from?
And allowing for questions in the second round is such a stroke of genius, leading to even more iconic moments.
Would you take another bite?
Here we go.
Hi, did you get the memo? Reika, what would that look like?
What are your top 5 James Spader performances?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. Blacklist episode 1, Blacklist episode 2, episode 3, 4, and 5.
My only small issue with this one is the minigames, and how relevant they are to the final scores. But besides that, incredible episode.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Bingo has perhaps one of the best twists in the whole show. The reveal of the second set of players who have bingo cards based on the first set of players is incredible enough on its own, but then, several minutes later, a third set of players is revealed, and after that, you spend the whole episode wondering if there's a fourth set of players. And when they are finally revealed to each other, God, it makes for one of the best endings to any episode on this show. The absolute look of shock and betrayal on Brennan's face is priceless. Peak game changer. Besides the incredible trickery on display, I love the customized stamps and the boards themselves, especially the ones Reika, Trap, and Lily have, so perfectly personalized to the first set of players, and the prompts they write for them are also incredible. Such quick thinkers. I love the running gag of so many prompts centered around Mike Trap, the way Katie circumvents the point to where sounds from, and my favorite one is go on Instagram Live and defend Elon Musk. They all make for great beats, and the PA Caitlyn is such an MVP. She is asked to do so many embarrassing things. I admire her. Great episode.
Alright, beef burrito. I'm gonna give you one more chance to take back what you said about my mom!
One and Done is an episode that, as a concept, feels like an early season episode. It is extremely straightforward. The 3 contestants can pick one from various challenges, but they only get one shot at doing it, and that's it. But, with a budget that has grown considerably from the earlier seasons, they are able to push this very simple concept to its limits, with the hype people, the props, the editing, and especially the lighting. If this was an earlier season, the 10-second timer would have just been a 10-second timer, but since it's not, they can have Teo run and scream, and that is the timer. Or how each of the contestants gets someone to cheer them on. Sam gets his parents, Ellie gets Jeff as a boxing coach, and Demi gets a young fan. Details like that make this episode so entertaining and hilarious. Ellie, Demi, and Zach bring the exact energy an episode like this needed, with a perfect mix of competitive spirit but also some seriousness and tomfoolery, keeping the episode's fun vibe. I really love this. It's time for another round of Sam designs a game to specifically fuck with Brennan, even though he says this one isn't the case.
Now, Brennan, I want you to know we didn't come up with this game explicitly to troll you.
Okay.
Second place is one of the best when it comes to the concept itself. A competition in which whoever gets second place wins the point, and whoever is second by the end of it is the winner. And Brennan is here to be bullied. But he really gets to shine here, man. He delivers so many incredible quotes.
I'm gonna lose so fucking hard, it's gonna blow your fucking mind. If you think that the roseate spoonbill got to me, don't give a fuck about birds. Winning makes me feel really sad. Dance is a sin!
Likewise, Oscar and Ali are the perfect competitors to bring along, with their chill and nonchalant vibes being perfect opposites of Brennan's anger and competitive spirit. Their 3 reactions to when Sam reveals how the game works is absolutely priceless, with Oscar and Ali basking in joy while Brennan processes the awful thing that is happening to him. And the final result of the game, mwah, a priceless ending. Brennan's absolute contempt as he wins while being in second place is perfect. I cannot believe I'm only at number 19, since I've said this multiple times already, but once again, peak game changer.
Why so serious?
Such a great concept to put some of the most sarcastic members of the cast, Zach, Lisa, and Ali in an episode in which they have to be honest with their answers. Ernest Est is very entertaining for most of its runtime. Despite the fact that they cannot answer with jokes, they manage to have great banter and beats in between their answers. I really love the running gag about all of them hugging each other, the fact that the first ever licensed song to be on this show was Goddamn Kiss from a Rose, and the freestyle rap is truly the best part of the first 2/3 of the episode. Maybe the whole episode. A lot of people focus on how good Lisa's rap was, and she deserves it. It is incredible.
Four-eyed bitch, I wanna kill you.
But I also love Zach's nervousness before and during his rap.
No.
And Alice,
Cat in the Hat,
lives rent-free in my head. But it is a little bit after the 30-minute mark, when they come back in Joker outfits, that this episode goes from great to incredible. Watching them continue to be earnest while wearing cosplay is the peak of comedy. This frame of Joker Alley should be hanged in a museum. The episode culminates in something I never thought I'd see. 3 Jokers dancing to Seal's Kiss from a Rose, and it is beautiful. Man, Season 7 was so good.
Isn't that right, players?
Make some noise!
While the first episode of this trilogy, Make Some Noise, started it all, round 4 is really when Make Some Noise, the show, was born. I'll talk soon about the first episode, but in here the formula was perfected, with the first round being solo improvisation, the second round being in duos, and the third round being all 3 of them. Another reason it feels that way is because with the prompts in this episode, you really get to see the specific comedic talents of each one. Josh with his insane ability to make any sound.
Oh my god. Verkehr.
Zach with his minimalism and perfect timing.
I was in class with his younger brother.
And Brennan with his capacity to pull a whole wiki worth of lore out of his ass.
Bing boom.
No one may leave until I understand the fullness of what I have become.
Something I really love about this episode and all the others in this trilogy is how excited and joyful Sam is.
I've found, like, my heaven, and it's here with you 3.
What else can I say, really? So many of the prompts are incredible, the improv and comedy out of these 3 is truly wonderful, and it is a consistently hilarious episode, even considering that so many of these performances I've seen multiple times already. The only reason it isn't above its predecessor is that I find the first one to be slightly funnier. And speaking of that,
The cow says...
He proved that 50 years ago, and he's been coasting on it ever since.
Arguably the most important episode in the whole series, having alongside its sequels a span off a whole new show, which is just as incredible as Game Changer. And no, I will not make a Make Some Noise episode ranking, I have no idea how I would even go about it. This is Game Changer at its purest form. Despite the relatively low production value of it as a season 1 episode, it delivers on the comedy that this show promises perfectly well. Even during the first round, when they only have to make animal sounds, Josh, Zach and Brennan manage to be hilarious with their incredible chemistry and banter in between challenges.
Come on, dude. I got places to be.
Josh has to leave in 4 minutes.
Something I noticed in particular about this one when rewatching it was how good some of the editing is. There's so many perfectly timed cuts to reaction shots that enhance so many of the jokes and impressions, even some of the simpler ones.
Zach, I'm...
One of the more straightforward episodes in the whole series, even compared to its own sequels, but you know, sometimes less is indeed more.
Crowd work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
If this episode was just some good crowd control, I would already enjoy it a lot. Watching good stand-up comedy is always a treat, and Jeff, Gianmarco and Josh are all very funny, with each of them having a distinct and particular sense of humor. But adding a crowd filled with people who have something fascinating and crazy about them is an incredible idea to have even better crowd work. I particularly love the second round of the game, with the reveal of the red flags, and not too big favorites, but Gianmarco really gets to shine here with his darker humor. I honestly don't have much to say about this one. It is fairly straightforward, but incredibly funny nonetheless. An episode so good they had to spin it off unchanged.
I've been studying Shakespeare ever since I was asked to do this programme, and it turns out he's more than just a bald man who could write with feathers.
For this episode, Sam brings Joey Brand, Ross Bryant and Blaine Swen, members of the improvised Shakespeare company. And after watching it, I really want to see one of the regular shows, because this is amazing, even for someone who doesn't know shit about Shakespeare and is unable to understand a word of Old English, aka me. And if this episode was just that, one of their improvised plays, it would already be amazing, because this is some of the most impressive improv I've ever seen. The way all three of them build upon each other and are able to create a play on the spot that is funny, rhymes, and also makes sense is surreal. And the fact that they are able to incorporate brand names of different products into their dialogues so seamlessly just makes it even more unbelievable. This is one of the best Game Changer episodes by performance standards. The only reason it isn't higher is because I am an uncultured swine, and like I mentioned, I'm incapable of understanding a lot of Old English and don't know anything about Shakespeare, so even though I find a lot of it very funny, I do feel like a lot of the humor went over my head.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I haven't talked about it yet, because I haven't talked about any episode in which they are a contestant, but I am the biggest big stan. I think they are the funniest person on Dropout. Maybe the planet? ? There's a reason none of their episodes have come up yet.
Coincidence? I think not!
As soon as the prize of this episode, being honorary president of Dropout, was revealed, I was rooting for them to win this. And they did, holy shit! The fact that the episode actually had the Avengers Endgame bit that they proposed for the credits is my favorite moment in all of it. My fanboying aside, Outvoted is so incredibly funny. Every single member of this cast gets to shine so much, with Brennan taking advantage of his public persona as a winner who can't win anymore.
My friends, I'm not winning.
Abria with how genuinely earnest her answers feel.
Pretty famously on the record for never sending or checking an email, and I will not start now for this bit.
Ali with the most fire fit I've ever seen, and their ability to perfectly capture the average whack job American.
And it is true, I own a gun.
Demi with his high energy and his decision to heavily incorporate cigarettes.
This! Good hands.
Is cool.
And Vehicular with their usual sort of anxious and neurodivergent sense of humor.
Hey guys! What's up? It's Vic. I love ya. Vote for me.
I love how their supposed campaigns are built throughout the episode, with them earning the support of lobbies, making their slogans, fan emails, and campaign videos, and with whom they decide to run by the end of it. I was genuinely invested on who would win, not just because of the previously mentioned big fanboying, but also because of the insane 180 the voting results had from the first result to the second result. I really love the comedy in this one as well, and the different tasks the contestants are given to fulfill are also great, the best one being earning the support of actual politician Robert Reich. Finally, we've had Sam's whole family on the show. I do have one issue with this episode, and it is that I really wish they actually leaned a little more into actual political commentary. Not so much in the sense that they talk about real world issues or such, but more so on how politicians act, or how the lobbying industry actually affects people. The lobbying in particular could have had a more interesting and impactful effect on the game itself, but these are small complaints. And again, this is one of the funniest episodes on the show, and that's what really makes it great for me.
Pescado grande con muchos dientes. No me gusta.
What can I say about this one that I haven't said already? It's like the previous two, but on steroids. The prompts are better, the improv is better, and it's just overall funnier and more entertaining. So, instead of trying to continue to review this episode, I'll just show you a couple of my favorite moments.
Is my client a perfect man? No.
I killed him, yeah.
Without my services, you will have a bad time.
And then you do it.
Give me your teeth.
For Zach, as a reminder, your sound is...
Going once. Going once.
Second,
Eat that second deviled egg.
And my favorite one, that isn't even a performance moment.
Sorry, it's so nice to be here. It's been a hard year, and maybe some things will never be the same. But at least there's this.
So sweet. Perfect episode.
Trivia time! Trivia time! Trivia time! Trivia time!
This episode makes me so happy. Like, it's just contained joy. Serotonin straight to my veins. Comfort game changer. Beat the Buzzer is arguably the most energetic episode in the whole series, and it is so contagious. After the reveal of what the game actually consists on, which is to find a buzzer that actually works around the studio, and Becca, Reika, and Erika begin to run around, I start giggling like a little girl. Their delight seeps through the screen, and more so than any other episode, it feels like three friends having fun, especially with their cooperation along the episode. Every single buzzer location and/or prop is so lovely and creative. I adore what the art department did with them, like the IKEA furniture buzzer, Sam's tiny buzzer, and my favorite, Sam's mushka dolls. The way Erika completely loses focus on the game and just starts giggling at them is so relatable.
I don't think this is part of it.
that has to be part of
It's
it.
just delightful, though.
She was so real for that. All of the buzzers are so unique, involving a different kind of challenge, maybe a memory minigame, a physical one, or even the greatest challenge of all, having to go through the embarrassment of being near a couple hooking up. When I wrote this entry, it was 15 minutes after rewatching the episode, and I was still giggling like an idiot. I love it so much.
Police show up with a buzzer. Hey!
Yeah. Collaboration you've been waiting for. Dropout and the LAPD.
There are many episodes below this one that I consider to be more entertaining, funnier, that I prefer to rewatch or even recommend. At the same time, there's an artistry to this particular episode that makes me love it so deeply. You start to feel as if you too are trapped in this hellhole of a time loop, alongside the players, especially with how they keep re-uploading this one to their YouTube channel. The editing here is masterful, not just with the very obvious loss of image and audio quality effects, and the constant distortion towards the end, but also the slow way it becomes more frantic, disjointed, and erratic. I particularly love the incredible detail of the names with references to other episodes. It's perfect how every challenge and minigame builds from the previous rounds, not only with the contestants now knowing the answer, but also having different approaches to some of them as the episode goes on.
Yeah, you want us to
we
stack
want us
up
to
the
get
boxes.
fucking boxes.
But guess
You get
what?
it?
I've got a fucking ladder, and it's way taller.
And speaking of players, Trap, Ify, and Chauvin are so perfect here. Their competitiveness and ways of messing with each other make for hilarious moments.
Let's say I get all three.
In particular with the anger that Chauvin builds towards Ify.
No, you can't buzz in if you don't know the answer.
What do you-
I know what the answer is. He doesn't know.
But the best part of this basically perfect episode is the goddamn win stance. No one can win it, no points are awarded, not a game mechanic. It is simply a beat they are forced to endure each round. That shot of Chauvin completely fed up with it is one of my favorite moments in this whole series. Amazing episode.
Tchaikovsky, no. Tchaikovsky, yes.
This might be the best ruse Sam ever came up with. Making a whole episode in which the whole concept is that Brennan cannot win is a stroke of genius. Especially at this point in the series, when he had won every single episode he had participated in. Watching his slow descent into madness and anger is incredible to watch.
I won't be made a fool.
And it culminates on a monologue so eloquent that it feels impossible for it to be improvised. A monologue so iconic that just the ending of it became the inspiration for another one of the best episodes on Game Changer.
I've solved your labyrinth, puzzle master! The Minotaurs escaped, and you're gonna get the horns, buddy!
Incredible, brilliant, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular. Even though the ending is indeed the best part of the episode, I don't want to downplay everything else about it. The lead-up is great as well, and big part of the reason of why the ending works so well. I love how they managed to come up with different, creative ways of repeating the same question of yes or no. It makes it a lot more dynamic than it could have been otherwise. Ali and Zach are also the perfect contestants to have been in the loop. I love how Ali messes with Brennan.
It was not simple. I'll tell you that.
And Zach play dumb. Strategy is so funny, especially on rewatch.
I'm gonna say yes.
Because I don't know what's happening.
And sometimes I play just a little different.
It's insane to only put this episode at number 9. My stomach literally hurts after watching it from so much laughter. But somehow this show has even better stuff to offer.
Did we all get crowns?
We only got 2.
God!
Because my neck was kinda sore. The pain didn't leave my neck, so I thought, what the heck, and said screw it, and I took one more.
The musical improv episode of Make Some Noise are some of my favorites in that show, and the Game Changer episode that inspired them is some of the best improv I've ever seen. In general, I really love musical comedy. Bo Burnham, Value Select, Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, Caroline Cornstar, and of course, Brian David Gilbert. It is a style of humor that I find so impressive and kind of unbelievable how there are people so talented to pull it off, but most importantly, hilarious. And Zach, Ross, and Rashawn pull it off incredibly well in this episode, improvising fake songs by real artists on the spot. and doing it so well that they feel like real songs these artists would make, but also extremely silly and funny. The talent on display here is out of this world. Also Aaron, what an incredible pianist. My favorite one from each round are Global Warming by Macklemore,
How did it come to pass? Maybe it was the greenhouse gas.
Party Hardy Hard,
Are you up on a pirate ship?
and To-Do List by The Supremes.
Don't make a to-do list. Make a to-do list.
The fact that it ended up with the three of them tying is so fitting. Another episode that just fills me with so much joy. I was giggling like a little bitch as I wrote this.
We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down.
I already alluded to it earlier with the Survivor 2-parter, but Battle Royale is like that, but on steroids. The first one was 7 contestants, with one of them instantly getting voted out. Boom, now it's 10, and all of them stay here for a while before one of them has to leave. The immunity loop-de-loops were hidden last time, but it was relatively straightforward in how they were hidden. Boom, now they are on plain sight, but also a lot harder to find.
There should be a seating area.
Because they want us like crawling around on our knees, debasing ourselves like Vic. Like Vic.
No, I'm doing this because I like it.
There was one minigame last time, boom, now there are 7 of them, and they are so much complex and engaging to watch. I really need to talk about these challenges, man, they pulled no stops. First, hat stacking, a silly and straightforward challenge which is the vibe you need to start things off. But also, it surprisingly gets to feel super intense thanks to the editing. And also Rick Devens is here, from actual Survivor show. Again, I haven't watched it, but he seems like a very cool and charismatic dude. Second, Find the Cake, an energetic competition to find cake shaped like objects made by Andrew Fuder, aka Sam after Mega Evolving. Third, Making a Sandwich on the Spot, which is judged by Master Chef Claudia Sandoval. Some of the contestants make sandwiches that look so genuinely good, and then Vehicular make this monstrosity, reaffirming Zach's theory that they haven't had food before. Fourth, a short and sweet game of Dirty Santa, in which the art team gets to shine with some ridiculous and hilarious fake gifts.
It's a porcupine covered in I voted stickers.
Fifth, a talent show in which voted off participants can't get back onto the show, at which point Jacobs decides to summon Howie Mandel by chanting his name 3 times.
Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel.
Introducing now.
Howie Mandel.
Comedian, producer, legendary game show host, Howie Mandel.
Sixth, erotic pottery judged by drag queen Lagancha Stranja.
Everyone calm down, I'm not a real celebrity.
Which prompts Izzy to take off her top, which is regular for a Game Changer episode. And finally, having to charm none other than Sam's mom. The sweetest competition for last. Beyond just me enumerating them, I want to say that these challenges are insanely fun to watch, and the fact that they were able to get a guest star to judge each one is beautiful. I love it. But the reason this one is so high, beyond how entertaining it is that similarly to the first 2-parter Survivor episode, this is one of the competition I was the most invested in. The longer runtime really allows you to pick a favorite to win the competition. I love this whole cast, but I have to admit, once again, my personal pick was Vic, and this was actually the episode that really made me become a stan, with Make Some Noise solidifying them as my favorite Dropout performer.
Now I'm mad about it, Sam. I did just crack every single bone in my leg.
They don't win at the end, spoiler, but they get to the finals, and I was genuinely so invested in the final vote. I don't want to downplay the rest of the cast though. The 10 of them work wonderfully together, and even though he wasn't my pick to win, Jacob winning does actually feel super fitting. This is an incredible episode, with so many details, moments, and bits that I love. But if I begin listing them, this entry would be at least 5 minutes longer. Suffice to say, amazing episode.
Is RuneScape?
RuneScape? Is RuneScape.
I love that Lou's first reaction upon being told that they were trapped in there was to begin wrecking shit up.
Baba Booey! Baba Booey!
Escape the Green Room is one of the more innovative episodes of the series, ditching the studio in favor of everything happening in a single room, with hidden cameras placed around it. The puzzle itself is so well crafted, both in a sense of how it is meant to be played and solved, and also in how you watch it as an audience member. It has the perfect mix of complexity, so it's not too obvious what the player should do, and of linearity, so it is easy to follow. In that sense, I have to give major props to the editing. I'm not envious of what they had to do, balancing multiple cameras footage, finding the perfect moments to cut together, and adding a lot of flair to the static shots in post to make it feel dynamic, but they really succeeded. Lou brings the exact kind of high and unhinged energy an episode like this needed.
Okay, God damn it.
With Brennan's sheer focus perfectly balancing him out. And Chauvin, who I did not know prior to this episode, is the perfect middle point between the two of them.
Shut the fuck up.
I really like how the story of the episode builds around the magic theme, and in many ways, the whole episode is just one big magic trick. It is amazing. The fact that all of it takes place entirely in one room but is so engaging goes to show the talent both in front and behind the camera that this series has. And I cannot believe the price was tickets for more escape rooms. That is absolutely diabolical.
Says make a 1300 hertz sine wave. How is he doing that? Test yourself. Simon didn't say that. What? What? No, you can't.
Sam, can I please have a talk?
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Jacob, Lou, and Vehicular were the perfect cast for this episode, with the first two already being broken by their previous participations on the game, and Vic starting joyful but soon falling as well. From extremely early on, the psychological torture is dialed up to 11. It is literally 4 minutes into the episode when the swear jar is introduced, making them lose points each time they swear, though calm is allowed. And instantly after, they are given the dance prompts, which are so diabolically confusing that all three of them fail at least one of them. It is amazing seeing all three contestants attempting to keep it together, and how quickly they realize that the game isn't against each other, but against Sam.
Guys, he's doing this to us.
Even if they falter sometimes.
I'm fucking done. Everyone behind these cameras is fucking over. If you're in a hole dying, I won't be there.
I'll help you.
Every single prompt is incredible, really. A lot of them make for good improv, like they make something cool for the trailer. Others are incredibly devious, like the memory game trap after the episode dedication. Some are insane, like not flinching when a body falls from the ceiling. And others are just deeply cruel, like not looking at Henry. I would have looked at him, screw the points, just look at him, he's adorable. I'm gonna stop highlighting parts of the episode, because otherwise we'll be here all day. Bottom line is, this one takes this game to its absolute limits, and builds so perfectly well on the previous two episodes. You can see how far this show has come along simply by watching this trilogy, and it culminates in all of them going to a party bus. When I first watched this, my first thought was, oh no, the game hasn't stopped, and they just kept on breaking previous rules, and indeed, the game hadn't stopped. This is so devious and diabolical, I cannot believe Sam actually did this. It is a genius move. The absolute defeated looks, the tiredness in their stand, the despair that fills the air, the pain of their silence. This moment truly is a Renaissance painting. Actual masterpiece of an episode.
Anyways, thanks Sam, it's been a real nightmare.
This is like if the rules from Sam Says 3 were the premise for an entire episode, but with a great incentive to call each other out whenever they fail to keep one of their rules. This is one of the more straightforward games of Season 7, but they managed to make the most out of it. The rules are varied, devious and funny, Paul Referino is the best thing I've ever seen, and the roulette itself is such a well-made gigantic prop. Oscar, Anna and Jeremy are the perfect cast, and I think Anna puts it best.
We have lawful, we have neutral, we have evil.
Indeed. I love how Oscar tries to cooperate and see the best in the other contestants, even after being betrayed multiple times. I love how Anna feels as if she's just trying to survive and do her own thing, and Jeremy, oh my god, I adore him in this episode. The way he goes full evil and competitive is a beautiful sight to behold. The thing about this episode is that for most of it, it already was one of my favorites. It is so energetic, exciting and entertaining from the very first minute, and even on rewatch I couldn't stop laughing, to the point that my cheeks began to hurt. And I'll say this again, this video is with spoilers, so if you haven't watched this episode, please watch it, because I don't want to spoil the twist to those that don't know it. Like I said, I was already loving this, but then Jeremy made the smartest move I've ever seen anyone do on this show, taking the host of the show rule off of Sam's body. The way the episode completely goes off the rails from these moments onward makes for some of my favorite minutes of TV ever.
Welcome to Make Some Noise!
The way Sam fully embraces the sexily rule in the worst way possible, Anna's discomfort at his performance, and most importantly, the way Jeremy fully throws off the game just for his own and his fellow contestants' amusement is incredible. By the time the three of them are the host of the show, I knew this was easily top 5 episodes ever. If you told me the episode that started looking like this would end up looking like this, I would have actually believed you, because it's Game Changer, and crazy shit happens on it all the time, but it doesn't make it any less incredible. Roulette is a work of art, and somehow we still have the top 3 left.
Feels so good to be back here at the Dexter Lake Club. We like to do for you now a tune entitled Shamalama Ding Dong.
The game finally gets changed on Sam, and now he has to participate in it, Brennan being able to enact his revenge on Daedalus the Master Crafter. Finally, the Minotaurs escaped, and Sam's gonna get the horns, buddy. Samalama Ding Dong is an incredible feat of television, and I truly mean that. The fact that they were able to pull off this huge production effort without Sam, the CEO and host of the show, knowing about it is admirable. I haven't brought up the behind the scenes that much, but for this one, it is genuinely so powerful seeing multiple members of the crew talk about this episode, all the work that went into it, and how many of them seem to consider it their magnum opus. And it is earned. This is truly something that should make its creators feel insanely proud. It is a beautiful watch, truly a love letter to the show as a whole, with various props, puzzles and challenges going back multiple seasons in some cases, and it just reeks of love for Game Changer throughout it all. But beyond all that, this was an incredibly entertaining and funny episode. The escape room they were able to create inside this castle was so interesting, and seeing Sam having to solve it was incredibly engaging. The entrance hall is a great introduction, with so many references to past episodes that constantly had me pointing at the screen like a soy jack. The second room has a technically solvable but almost impossible second puzzle that is so devious that it almost feels as if Sam himself helped create it. And it is so funny watching him having to take the path of shame and respond to lie detector questions. Elaine being a part of the episode is very fitting, and I love that they had her play as Sam's bingo. After that, the short game of Cerberus Says instead of Sam Says is so hilarious and also filled with love towards that trilogy, with so many prompts being great callbacks.
Cerberus says don't flinch.
Oh god! Oh my god!
Also, Vic, Jacob and Izzy are so hilarious here, perfectly towing the line between taking it seriously and fooling around. I love them. In general, every supporting member of the cast pulls off their performance to perfection, even if it's a small part. And finally, the ultimate battle against Brennan. I have to say, the Mag Throne and the Minotaur's costume is truly impressive. And I love that this battle is just another puzzle, but they made it to feel so incredibly epic, with the editing, the music, and Brennan's over-the-top performance. Like, dude, why is Game Changer giving me chills? This is incredible, holy shit! Samalama Ding Dong feels like a series finale, a huge celebration of everything this show means, of everyone that has participated in it, of everyone that makes it possible, and of Sam himself, the man who created it. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure this isn't the end to this series, and there will be an 8th season, but if this one were actually to be the final episode, I wouldn't mind it. Season 7 was incredible, and this was a perfect way to end it, a love letter to Game Changer itself.
I love you.
Sorry, one more thing. I didn't find a natural way to include this into my script, but I added in my notes this text. Somehow mentioned the fact that they left this table just out of reach of Sam's legs, and it is hilarious, holy fuck.
I love tuna. Tuna. I love tuna. Tuna. I love tuna.
For Karaoke Night, I talked about how much I love musical comedy. For A Game Most Change, I talked about how impressed I was of the ability to improvise a play that is both funny and makes sense on the spot. Now, if you combine both of those things, you get the official cast recording. Some of the best 30 minutes of television ever made. Jess, Zach, and Zeke, alongside Scott on the piano, improvise whole songs on the spot, with almost no instructions, like full songs, like these are on Spotify and I listen to them, and ironically, they slap so ridiculously hard, to the point that normally, like the rest of this video, I would highlight a couple, but literally every single one of them is so great in its own way. Some of them are hilarious, some of them are exciting, and some of them are so emotionally charged they give me literal chills. The talent is once again off the charts, and I think Sam just puts it perfectly.
What you do is a magic trick.
Sam giggling and going crazy over their performances is literally me. During this whole episode, I feel like I'm running out of breath. I watch it in absolute disbelief, filled with joy. But not only all of what I already said is true about this episode, but also at the end they somehow managed to bring back all of the characters and even give character arcs to most of them, even some of the minor ones, as well as making callbacks to earlier songs in the episode. I would genuinely pay money to watch a produced and live version of this fake improvised musical. By the end of it, I'm almost at the verge of tears, even by my 4th rewatch. I truly adore this episode, and for the longest time, this was my favorite one, but then another episode came along, and was able to finally top it. Un año más, ¿qué más da? 1 year later is a masterful piece of television, and incredible feats come to life.
I don't think I've ever been more out of the loop as to what a Game Changer episode is about to be.
I cannot believe this was the opener to the season. And even though the rest of it was great, they set the bar so high with this one, it was impossible for them to top this. Lou, Vic and Jacob, right after Sam Says 3, were given a year to complete 15 challenges, and the result is amazing. One thing that was really great about this episode and concept is that with so much liberty, it really made for wildly different approaches to all the challenges.
Is there something that the giant squid means to you?
No, thank you.
Lou really felt as he went all out for most of them, truly committing to his ideas, with great examples being the formation of his band, Paraluvis, and the goddamn Joker car. God, what an abomination! Jacob's approaches felt very community-oriented, with great examples being the high school band, the donation of his investment money, and even the more jokey one of the selfie with firefighters and a male nurse. And Vehicular, committing not so much to the challenges in many cases, but instead committing to the beat, going full Chaos Gremlin and deciding to gaslight Sam at every opportunity they had, with the Marilyn Goggins beat, the most remote location, their fake company presentation, and by stealing Sam's house. And also his wife. Oh my god, they are so funny.
You left me on my own for too long!
You gotta actually play the game!
I need boundaries.
And in general, they all showed incredible out-of-the-box thinking. Some of my favorite examples being Lou's outfit, Vic's ringtone play, Jacob's magic trick, and his
the piss
car plate. But what really elevated this episode to be my favorite one is how near the ending, the players, more so than ever, realize that it is not against each other, but against Sam, as they slowly turn over the tables on him, with all three of them cooperating on the most exotic animal prompt, installing a secret camera on Sam's kitchen, which is just insane, and by the last prompt, altogether refusing to do it. I think Lou puts it really well.
We are not interested in these points because that would suggest that all that I have done here today was for you, and that is simply not true.
And the ending is generally kind of touching, with them truly coming together in a united front after they set out to do so in Sam Says 3. The ending with a king therapist coming to treat Sam while everyone else went out to party was just the cherry on top. Season 7 started with the players turning the game against Sam, and it ended up with him being the sole contestant of the final episode.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And that is kind of beautiful. 1 year later is a masterpiece, and it is, without a doubt, my favorite episode of Game Changer. So, that's the list. I can't wait to get comments about how wrong I am. Oh boy, this video was long. Game Changer as a show has redefined for me what a game show can do. It is such a funny, creative and extremely well made piece of media, and I can't wait to see how it keeps growing and continuing to do new things. I love it very dearly. As usual, subscribe, comment, like, and that entire algorithm jazz. If you liked, make sure to let me know to boost my ego. If you didn't, let me know in what way I could improve. But be respectful, or I will cry. Okay guys, have a good one.